update on our miscreants. 4 stayed in overnight. Since capturing Mimsy in the horse trailer, they didn't go anywhere. Mimsy is the ringleader of the rebels, the Rebel Alliance. So we did also boost the temperature of the voltage of the fence, so that may have something to do with it, but for now we're just gonna keep Mimsy in the trailer. Everybody will come out of heat. We are expecting some warm weather in a week. They'll melt a lot of this snow and lower the height of the field so that they're short again against the fence. Like we said, there's about a foot of packed snow in the field at least, bringing up the level so they can walk right over the fence, and it wasn't hot. Also, that melting will help improve the ground connectivity with all that moisture around the ground rods. We're hoping that's the case. I can't tolerate any more heifer outages. They're too wild, too rambunctious, and the damage they've done to the orchard, and there's something lacking in their diet. I've given them extra salt, mineral blocks, I've given them a better quality bale just to try and see if that will alleviate their desire to crib and chew everything they come in contact with out here. I caught Mimsy when she was out yesterday trying to destroy our blueberries. They've destroyed 6, 7 apple trees just to wipe them out, just gone, just bark stripped clean off of them overnight when we weren't around to pay attention to them. So yeah, it hasn't been good with them being out. I'll look back at the video and see and make sure I've given a full timeline of the last few days, because it has been a nightmare, and it has been 2, 3 lost days. I can't even remember. We're so exhausted. We've got to do something so this can't happen again, because it's one thing to be having calves, it's another thing to have cows get out when they happen at the same time, repeatedly, constantly, for days on end. It's just draining. And then all the work we tried to do, to put in all that work the other day to try and get the fence hotter, to make sure the things were secure, and then just to have them come right out again, jump right over the fence. I even raised the height of the fence there. You see those ribbons, and then I put two bales out to try and block the lowest point. But now I've made it hard to get in and out of the field with the fence being this high. You just barely can step over it. Anyway, I'm gonna put two buckets of water around by the trailer, so when Allison's done getting ready for milking, she'll come help me give Mimsy some water for the day. Mimsy's content and cozy in the horse trailer. I didn't realize Io and Demeter were the last 2 calves in the big barn, and we moved them out here together, and they are bonded like sisters. But whatever sway Mimsy, Queen Bee Mimsy, has on the calves, Demeter is her acolyte. She's pining for her. She spent the night by the horse trailer, where the rest of the calves were around the bale here. She's just besotted with Mimsy. And we're now deciding, we think, because Mimsy is more than a year old, I think Mimsy's coming up on 1.5 years old. She's older than the calves and wily, and she is actually a cow. She's not a calf, and we put her in with the calves and we forget that she's a cow and that she's been here for a long time and knows how stuff works. Jerseys are stupid intelligent anyway, and I think she's just mischievous. I think she has to move on. I don't think we're going to keep Mimsy. We can sell her to a nice small farm that wants just a couple of cows. You can have her as a pet. I think that's probably the way to go, because it's just, she doesn't work here. She's open, so that means she'll always be in heat. She'll come into heat. We can't breed her to any of the livestock we have, so she needs to be bred to a Dexter or a mini Jersey, and we're just not set up to to have a special class of animal. We already have calves and heifers and pigs, and we don't even have the ducks and geese that we want. So yeah, I think Mimsy's gonna move on. If we can find a buyer for her, she'll go. Well, it's a beautiful sunny day, but it is brutally cold, and the wind will slice you in two. Supposed to be high of 22 today and a wind chill of minus something because of how strong the wind's gonna get. Not looking forward to it, but hopefully today's the last day of this deep cold and it's gonna start breaking it in, and in a week's time, we'll be in the mid-30s. Looking forward to that a lot. It's been a long, hard winter. Cows are faring well. I have just enough silage to get through. I'm gonna buy some bales from a buddy of ours just to make sure. Because as these guys calve, now that we've got nettle calves, and as the 3 that we just dried off calve, we're gonna want better quality silage than will be left by that time in March. So we'll be getting some bales delivered soon, I hope. I'm just feeding out a bale here, one of the second cut bales that I made from over at Labreeze, and it looks good, but it is probably mostly should be considered hay. They're eating it. They're not really diving into it. There's one of the best bales of the stuff I bought. They're eating now, and they seem to prefer that. I'm into a spade of bales with almost zero mold, which is fantastic because it was getting pretty dodgy there for a while. Unfortunately, a lot of these bales that the ones I bought and stacked earlier are frozen, and so they're really hard to break into and get fed out with our system here. I don't have a way of cutting the bales, and because they're not chopped, they're pretty tightly bound once they freeze. Not like this chopped hay, which I love because it's just small particles and short fibers, and the cows eat it better, and it packs a denser bale. But we're hoping, I'm already starting to look forward to this coming silage season and making plans and how to improve the quality of our forage. That's always my goal in the summer, is to make better forage than the summer before, and more of it. I don't know if I exactly achieved that last summer in the drought, but we're gonna definitely try hard this summer.
Gosh, pretty girl. What a good appetite. Such long eyelashes. So isn't that our calves have exceptionally long eyelashes, or is this a Jersey thing?
Jersey thing. Baby.
They are spectacular.
Such a cutie.
Right, keep that head down.
Brutally cold today, so I'm stopped at Lowe's to get some pipe clamp stuff to neaten up the pumps for the heating system when I attach them to the wall. What I had, I was sort of making do, and I didn't have the right size clamp, so I was kind of fudging it, and it wasn't working. So I decided just to get the right thing. So I've done that. I've also gotten some 1.5 PVC pipe for Allison, because she needs some in the creamery for a project that she's working on. So I've got that. Just a quick trip out. I didn't even want to leave the farm. Since it's so cold, I've been busy in the farmhouse doing some paperwork and catching up on some reading, but also looking at a little new thing that we're gonna start implementing on the farm, and more about that later. We actually got the first delivery of this system the other day, but FedEx broke the package open and a bunch of stuff was missing. Actually, part of the most important part of the system is missing, and it was not an inexpensive system, so that happened Friday afternoon. I still haven't heard about when the replacement parts are going to come, and it's not making me happy. was hoping that this week would be the time to get the system up and running, but I'm still waiting to hear back from the company about the replacement parts and about when they can come help us install the system. We'll probably talk more about that later. But anyway, that's I'm reading up about the system, watching all the propaganda, etc., learning how to implement the system. So there's a bit of education component to my week this week. It's supposed to warm up this week. I really hope it does, because whatever minus blitheringly cold temperature it is out right now, I'm tired of it. Absolutely. The car claims that it's 30 degrees out, but I know it's not that. It is in the teens at least, if not colder, because of that wind. But lovely sunny day, and hopefully tomorrow we're supposed to get some snow, but after that we are in a warming trend up above freezing, and looking forward to it for sure. So leaving Lowe's, I came here for breakers because I need to add some individual circuits to the power to the shipping container. But apparently I didn't buy the proprietary GE whatever circuit breaker box that I installed as a, what do they call those, remote panel, whatever it is in the barn. I upgraded it a couple years ago, but I guess I got it at Home Depot or somewhere because the breakers aren't available here. So I'm not gonna go there now because I'm gonna get home. I gotta cut these pipes up to the length Allison needs before tonight. So it's getting late. It's 3 o'clock, and so I'm gonna head back to the farm and do that for Allison. It's Tuesday, the 10th of February, and I am deploying the cow watering hose out of the bathroom shower once again. Have to pull it in every night, but today it's gonna be as warm as freezing. Supposed to get up to 32 today. And that is exciting because it already feels warmer. Now, this stupid thing is supposed to be running at below 37. And when it comes out of the shower, it won't do that. So I gotta stick it in the snowbank for a little while to chill down enough to open up. Otherwise, I get soaked in cold water. That'll get flowing and I'll be able to fill a cow trough. And then I let it run all day, trickling in there. It thaws out the water, provides the cow waters all day, and then I pull it the last thing at night. So they're not without water for very long. And it's been working, but another day or so of this warm temperature, I will be able to thaw out the line running back to the barn, and then I won't have to do this hose monkey business every day, twice a day, which will be great. Okay, it's me and little Bridget. Feed the baby, got to feed the baby. Come on, you gotta hold your neck down. So sometimes newborn calves don't get the message that their head has to be in a certain position in order for the milk to flow into their stomach correctly. So you gotta kind of hold it for them. The reason we are bottle feeding baby cakes is because Nettle has bad edema. In fact, we removed Nettle from here because she was kicking baby every time she tried to nurse. And that bad edema, now Nettle tends towards edema. I think Bridget's her second calf or first calf, she had edema. But this year it's exacerbated by the silage. Now, silage we bought with the high potassium level, high potassium and salt in general, lead to, let's stick it down there, leads to edema. So, yeah, it's kind of a perfect storm. There's nothing we could do about it. That was the only forage we had to feed the cows. Good thing though, Bridget's a good little kid. She loves her bottle. We give her a bottle twice a day. She's happy as can be, and actually thriving out here in her pen with her little coat and Ganymede and Tethys to keep her company instead of her mama. And for those who are worried about calf being separated from its mother, Nettle could care less. You need a little break there, babe? Okay, come on. Nettle, a lot of dairy cows just don't have maternal instinct. They could really care less. And some cows are, and we have some great nurse cows who will suckle any calf we put on them, others not. And so I shared a little video on Blue Sky the other day. I got so many negative comments about how dare I. In fact, it was with Nettle. Maybe I'll insert the clip here. When Bridget was first born, Nettle was licking her. We'd put the calf coat on her because calves don't have any body fat when they're born. They have no way of adjusting or regulating their temperature. So, especially Jerseys are kind of frail. We put a coat on them, help them keep warm and cozy. And they just tend to thrive that way. That way they're not fighting the temperatures, especially when it's a bitter cold day. Now today it's a lovely day and it's warm. And as it warms up, we'll be monitoring Bridget for those days when we have to take her coat off so she doesn't get too warm and then get pneumonia, which is the other problem. So the comments were about how dare we separate the cow and the calf, but then other people said how dare we put a coat on the calf? It should move the calf to somewhere warmer. So let me get this straight. Either, people want us to keep the cow and the calf together, but if it's too warm for the cow, but not warm enough for the calf, we're not allowed to put a coat on her. And then we have to move the calf somewhere warmer, which means separating it from the cow. I don't get people. And I guess it's just a lack of understanding about animals and dairying and everything else. They just assume that we're a dairy and we're mean and cruel to all our livestock, which is never the case. We love our little kids. I mean, honestly, I think the people who are mean to their animals are assholes and are kind of the outliers, because the rest of us rely on our livestock to be our partners in how we earn our living. We want our cows to be happy and well looked after and content because they produce more milk naturally without having to force them to. Look at her, she's almost done with her bottle. If they're not happy and thriving, then we have higher vet bills, more costs, less milk, less profit. So it really just is kind of a backwards notion. Now, granted, some people are idiots and do mistreat their animals. And stuff can happen as well. I mean, it looks like mistreatment. It absolutely isn't. We were forever being slated for underfeeding our cows. Well, that's because we had a cow that had some serious metabolic issue that we were working with a veterinarian to identify. But meanwhile, everyone assumes that we're just idiots and maltreating our animals. And we actually ended up having to put that cow down because she had a tear in her stomach. But it took us a long time and a lot of money to figure that out. A hernia, rather, not a tear in her stomach, but a hernia. And she didn't look that great because she just couldn't. She was able to live. She was putting on, she was able to have a. You can't. You dropped milk on the phone. That cow was able to, live and do. She just couldn't put on weight because there was this issue with her absorbing nutrients. You want to finish? There's the last little bit here, kiddo. Bridget's so cute. Come on, here, baby. And so in order to help Bridget stay warm, we keep her in this hut when it's windy and cold, and then we let her out frolic. So that's just a lot of that is because Bridget's early. She's an outlier. There were supposed to be some other cows who were supposed to calve about this time. And again, because of the poor feed quality and the mold in all that silage, they aborted their pregnancies early. And so for whatever reason, we didn't have a clump. Now we're going to have a clump of calves coming up around St. Patrick's Day in March, and then again right away, first bit of April, we'll have a couple more calves. And then everybody else is pretty much spaced out throughout the summer, which wasn't ideal. We prefer calving between February and April and May, just because it's works well for us, and it gets the cows peak lactation when they're out on grass. You're such a little feisty moo. But Bridget, thankfully, for given the circumstances of how Bridget was born, she is a hale and hearty little calf, and she's she's only 4 or 5 days old, right? She was born at 1:30 a.m. on Friday morning. We were chasing heifers across the farm because they kept getting out. Now we've caught Mimsy, the ringleader of the escapees, and she is spending time out in the horse trailer, where we have to look after her. And we had to take all of Saturday and part of Sunday to make sure the fences were fixed and hot enough, and identify the issues, because the ground is frozen so solid that the energy isn't transferring. I'm sure I've talked about this already, but anyway, so so we were tied up catching heifers during the night on Friday morning, early Friday morning. So Bridget, actually, we just let Nettle take care of her. Normally we would have dried her and intervened, but it wasn't until about 4 o'clock by the time we had finally gotten the situation under hand, with the heifers running all across the farm and out onto the road, that we could attend to Nettle, with Nettle and Bridget. So that was not ideal. Hopefully that won't happen when we have 3 calves all at once. All right, time to go back in your little box. It's still a little too cold today, sweetie, and it's going to be snowy later. So. Yes, I know. You're such a sweetie. You're such a little cutie. Okay, come on. In your box, baby cakes. Come on, love. Yeah. For Bridget. In you get, Bridge. Come on. Why are you? Yeah, darling. I know, not the funnest thing. There we go, sweetheart. Yeah. You stay in there very warm and cozy. Alright, that's Bridget taken care of. On to the next set of things. This is starting to get into the territory where we do need a pickup, because I hate loading these in the car. It makes it dusty. All right, mission accomplished. That's 12 bags of sawdust. That'll help keep the cows dry and cozy for a couple days. I've been layering the sawdust underneath the hay when we have it. 4 inches of poor man's fertilizer fell overnight. So not the worst case, and it looks like the deeper snow, the rest of the snow called for today, is also not going to be, oh my God, appears that Mimsy has made a jailbreak. Huh. Okay, whatever. That's annoying. All right, well, at least she's not escaped. And out of the... Damn it, at least she's not escaped out of the yard yet. Don't have time for this today. I've got an appointment, and I got to plow the driveway. Anyway, poor man's fertilizer. The nitrogen content of the snow actually adds to the soil. And I forget exactly how much. I'll have to look it up. I forget exactly how much per acre, how many pounds of nitrogen per acre snow provides, but it's not insignificant. It's 8:25. I'm just coming in from doing evening chores, because when I went out at 7, the heifers were out. So like I was saying earlier, Mimsy got out of the horse trailer somehow today. Well, she must be the ringleader of the jailbreakers, because she wasn't out 12 hours and they're racing across the farm and the dooryard everywhere. Took the help of our neighbors to catch them, but we put them back in the confinement system, in the AeroQuip handling system. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they're caught for the night. And I don't have to, except for dogs. I think the dog's eating something out of the pan on the stove. Probably not a good idea. Guess I better go check that out.